What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map. In the blue color, playing a set. His name is Joe. His opponent today in the red color playing as Ra. His name is Hagrit. It's currently 2-2 in this best of 7 series. What a time to be alive. Yada, yada, yada. All the good stuff. We've got a Ra versus Set game. This is spicy. I love this. And it's looking to be a relatively low hunt. Ra versus Set game. It's a boot. So normally if you were to say, hi, my name's Hagrit. I'm going to be fighting Joe's Egyptian with Egyptian. I would say, you crazy. You crazy son of a gun. One of the best Egyptian players in the game, in Age of Mythology history even, is Joe. But this isn't necessarily just Egyptian versus Egyptian. This is Set versus Ra on what seems to be relatively low hunt. So this makes it very, very good for Hagrid here. So we'll see what he's going to come up with. 2 town center, 3 town center play. Anything is good here for Ra in this matchup. Trying to get early Son of Osiris, or early Osiris is an option. Trying to go for Horus is another option. In reality, the only way forward for Set in this matchup, I think this is one of Set's harder matchups, is to try and get control of 4 town centers and hold them. There are some timings which Set can hit faster than which the Ra can hit, because you can eat your animals of Set and make it there faster. You don't actually you'd think that rain helps out a lot more than it does. It doesn't, because then your opponent it helps while rain is going, obviously, but after then your opponent's farming and you're still eating hunt, so you catch up on food and in fact go in front on the resources. But you do have to eat your Set animals or have hunt up the wazoo. And then you can win in the early Mythic Age by converting the 4-2 town center advantage that you could get nice and early. So we'll see if that's what Joe's plan is going to be. But more and more we see Joe doing more greedy, boomy plays with Set, which still makes me scratch my head here as the house gets up. And I don't think we had any idle villager time there. I think Hagrid's fine. Monument coming up as well for Hagrid. And yeah, it does look to me like it is just the one hunt pack, and a big hunt pack at that, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zebra here, and there's some boar over here. So a little bit of hunt on that location. That town center being grabbed. It's going to be a happy time for Joe. Hagrid, on the other hand, has got his boar over here, and Joe is saying, no, my boar. I'm taking all of those, and boars take how long to convert? 1 minute. So I imagine the majority of these boars are going to be gone by the time Hagrid notices, and he's going to be somewhat sad about that. So those are actually really, really important here for Joe as well to be stealing. As you see the temple coming up, the classic 2 villagers on this temple as well. As Joe just about to advance. He's only got the 1 villager on this temple. This is looking to me like a fast 3 town center grab here by Joe with how slow this advance is, but remains to be seen. We'll see how it's going to go. Zebra coming all the way back, getting shot right underneath the granary. Beautiful to see that kind of that herding going on. There's more villagers coming through, and there is the tar coming in. So only 9 villagers on gold thus far, or about to be 9 villagers on gold. Not bringing the villagers back home here. You only really you kind of only want to put 8 villagers onto food, and then you go the rest onto gold. Is the general gist of how I understand the fast 3 town center play. So maybe Joe just going for a weird, maybe 1 town center fast relic. Doesn't make sense. He's got too many villagers on gold. I can't make heads or tails of this. Delayed 2nd town center from from Joe. Hagrit, on the other hand, going to have a very efficient second town center. We'll see which one he wants to go for. We do have the boars already out here trying to get scouting information. And, well, one way in which Joe can try and play this is to go for an early shifting sands here. He does have the Pygmalion statue, so he can shift onto the enemy villages and have a significant advantage where that's concerned. So we'll see if that's what he's going to do. Shaduf's getting researched here as the settlement's going to be coming up. The ball gets retreated back home. And Joe is indeed going for his second town center over here with no more villagers on gold. So that's what's happening. As the villagers come back in, more coming through. We do see the armory getting thrown up over here for Joe as the priest retreating back. We see the Wadget over here rolling in, and they just high five and say good night. So plenty of villagers back onto this gold mine over here. Joe with plenty of resources in the bank, plenty of goats as well. Villagers jumping onto the lumber camp as well. Going to be a bit of a strange heroic age here for Joe, whereas Hagrit's going to have what seems to be relatively clean. He's kind of all over the map though. He's got his farm starting to come down. If I'm playing Ra in this matchup, I want to advance at like 9 minutes 30 with like 15 to 20 farms and a crazy amount of food economy. If I see my opponent going for a second town center here, that way we get a big economic advantage in order to make like camel caravan or do something like that. And we are seeing Joe grabbing the third town center as well to boot. So I'm confused about the build, but not confused about the strategy. So if you... I mean, it's competitive mega random, so you do have to kind of make your decision based on what you see on the map. But the thing is that the best way in which an Egyptian player wants to play if they want to go 3 town centers is actually to advance 515. But the way to do it is you go 2 villages gold, like 8 villages food, and then you put the rest onto gold. And then you advance at 5-15 minutes, and then you have enough gold to throw 2 town centers down, enough food to afford the 2 town centers, and then you can just get all the food income and hit like an 8-minute 30, 9-minute heroic age, and it's absolutely bonkers. But Joe goes for something slightly safer, maybe safer, maybe not. I'm not sure. Against Ra, anything is safe. Anyways, onwards and upwards, we see the priest Wadjet hanging out on this position as Hagrit's going to be scouting around the map. Rain is over right now. How many farms has he produced is the big question here. He's only made 12 farms, so Hagrit playing this one very, very safe. Very safe. This one, if you go... So the 12 farm fast heroic from Ra players is effectively... I mean, it is the safest way to play Ra. It allows you to get... this is a delayed heroic age for some reason from Hagrit, but it allows you to get 8-minute 30 heroic age-ish, or even faster sometimes depending on how things go. But you get your Migdol, you get everything going, but you just don't have as many resources as, say, a later advance with 15 to 20 farms. Something that Chemo's definitely popularized is said delayed heroic age with tons of farms and living the dream here. As Joe motoring ahead, eating all of his boar, eating his gazelle over here as well. And we'll see how this is all going on. Walls coming up over on this position. We see some walls coming up over here for Joe as well. Super early. Hands of the Pharaoh coming in. And Joe going to be advancing at about nearly 10 minutes to the heroic age here. With said, he's got himself pickaxe. So he does have a little bit of extra economy. No husbandry though. He does have husbandry as well. So he's eating his herdables and he will be advancing through Nephthys, 52 villages to 40 villages. So a significant advantage here for Joe as Hagrit hits the Hagrid hits the heroic gauge. His third town center is on the way. But Joe has managed to find himself an advantage villager-wise. So will he be able to convert that or not? We don't see any hand axe just yet for Hagrid either. So everything just looking slightly off here in this game from, honestly, both players' perspectives, which is great to see. So if one player makes a mistake build order-wise and the other player makes this mistake build order-wise, we're kind of finding ourselves in a fairly equal position nonetheless. So that's good to see, as the rock's going to fly around for Hagrid looking for something to do. The forward Migdol getting dropped down. This is not something you see every day here, but Hagrid obviously realizing, well, my opponent went 3 town centers, so I should be able to get the control of the middle. But it does mean that his Migdol is going to be isolated here and be a little bit of a liability in the defense against a potential ancestors in the near future here. As we see the hyena getting taken out, the Wadget does get picked off here, and Joe retreating back. There's the rock going to be flying around looking for something to locust. Obviously, if Hagrid can get, well, let's just say a random number, say 16 villager kills with a locust, it would be equal villagers, and he'll be very happy about that. So we'll see if he's going to be able to find that advantage. I mean, alternatively, like, Hagrid could have gone all in here with a couple of siege towers and tried to take this town center down with the locust on top of the siege towers so that they don't get killed by villagers, but he opted for the delayed third town center, or the very delayed third town center nonetheless here. As we see a siege works over on this location here, got ourselves the Migdol stronghold as Joe's going to be motoring ahead here. Chariot Arch is trained in something crazy like 6 seconds. So that's kind of a big deal here. As Hagrid just jockeying back and forth with his units. And Joe ready to take some more control over the map. Now, he doesn't really need another gold mine. He has this gold mine over here, and he is throwing up a market. So the boom is not going to slow down anytime soon. He's getting himself Shadoof and Plow, finishing off all of this food in his base. He can throw farms down on all 3 of his town centers in the near future. Hagrid's at 102 of 145 population. Joe's at 121 of 135 population. He's just trying to break through the main base here, taking down a house. As Joe's actually forced to lead a house there to save his Scorpion, man. Seems pretty extreme, but no one was living there anyways, and all they didn't pay rent, so why not demolish? Why not demolish and rebuild, right? Newer is always better, except for when it's not. One thing that Ra players do sometimes against Egyptians, especially, well, against, I should say, well, I guess against Egyptian for sure, but more so against Isis and Set, is this Bazukos mass, as we see ancestors getting dropped. And the Bazukos actually can 2-hit an ancestors, I believe. So you can, if you keep these in the back nice and well, they can actually pick off all of those ancestors as they spawn. But right now, Joe is able to make a huge push. He's 145 population. He's got himself the siege tower. He's able to push through with some mercenary as well. And this Migdol stronghold is not going to be long for this world tier, as Hagrid is mightily struggling here in this game, as Joe retreats back trying to take down these cavalry as best as he can, as the Pharaoh darting in and out of this Migdol as best as he can in order to deal with these ancestors. But with only one Migdol, not a lot of gold, or he's got 2 Migdols, but not a lot of resources in the bank, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to hold here, as it looks to me like Joe is going to be able to break through, take this Migdol down, and have a little bit more map control to himself. And now the siege towers are on the Migdol. The units over here getting targeted down that rock, getting pushed back here. Joe with a significant advantage, but Ra does have an innate advantage over Set, which is the speedier chariot archers and cavalry, as well as the extra HP on them as well to boot, but mostly the extra speed. So if Hagrid can stabilize here, he will be able to continue this game with a big advantage, as I think Joe would know that. So we'll see where he's going to go, as we do see another Migdol over here getting thrown up, and Joe has to retreat back. As we see the two big ticket Egyptian economic upgrades coming through, shaft mine and irrigation. So shaft mine, if you don't know, gives a 20% increase, like a real increase, to the gold gather rate of an Egyptian, just based on the animations that it saves. It is a flat 10% increase, but a real increase of 20%. And then irrigation as well gives a pretty big increase to the food income as well. As Joe now moving out, we will be seeing this stray cavalry getting taken down. There's the siege towers rolling in. You see me rolling. But right now, Hagrit's going for some early walls here, trying to block Joe in as best as he can. As Joe's needs to micro just a little bit. Nice micro here from Hagrid. Look at that cavalry getting his dance shoes out. He's been watching some Michael Jackson doing not necessarily the moonwalk, but the run back and forth walk. As the cavalry now is deciding to get in nice and close and dirty with Joe's chariot archers, but Joe microing to the best of his ability here, seeing if he can hold on. Plenty of resources in the bank here. Both players 80 villages, 8 camel caravans for Joe, so there's slight economic advantage where that's concerned, but that mostly gets cancelled out by the priests that are empowering for Hagrid if he does have any of them. As Hagrid's at 129 of 145 population. Joe's at 145 of 145 population, basically. And Hagrid has to retreat back. 600 food, 800 gold. Joe going to be able to click up to the next age very, very soon. The question is he going to transition into those barracks units or not? That's the big question. That is the big question. When you go Mythic Age, obviously, for maybe not so obviously, but Egyptian players in the Egyptian War do favor Horus over Thoth, because Horus gets access to the Spearman upgrades, and the Spearman can then in turn deal with mercenary cavalry much better. That's a big reason why you make Horus Spearman in this matchup, is the mercenary cavalry. As Joe's going to continue his pressure. We don't see any attempt at side builds from either player. This entire area right now, as Hagrid's had map control, is open to be claimed. And Hagrid's got plenty of gold in the bank. As did Hagrid spend his food? No. Well, he's getting fortified town centers and spamming mercenary cavalry. That's all it is. And do we have any empowering going on? No empowering going on. Both players still just slowly making themselves camel caravans over time. As the siege towers moving in here, the siege work's going to be going down, and the chariot archers getting that juicy damage done. As Hagrid's just like not able to get to pop, and he's not really utilizing the speed advantage that his army does have, and you really do need to use that. I mean, yes, you have HP advantage. You got like a 10 HP, 20 HP advantage, whatever it is, but it is what it is. Now the siege towers moving over here. I'm going to be getting the Migdol stronghold. Hagrid getting himself fortified town centers right now. Joe doesn't care though. He's continuing to push in here. We just see the villagers going to be taking down these siege towers relatively fast, but is it going to be fast enough? The other thing here is that Hagrid still has Locust, and holding on to Locust isn't necessarily a good thing. As much as I'd love to say that Locust gets better over time and you shouldn't use it straight away in hopes that you kill off 20 villages and just straight win the game immediately, I can't say that without saying that it's a lie. So there's no point in really holding on to Locust unless you're playing some sort of shifting sands shenanigans where you shift a whole bunch of siege towers and Locust to like prevent the villagers from killing off the siege towers. That's an option. But Joe's still huge advantage here, nearly able to be advancing. We see shifting sands being used, and there goes that shifting sands idea, because a whole bunch of units now in the base of of Hagrit as he's shifting sands to them. And a bit Horus is now on the way, medium spearman on the way, so that means a transition into Horus spearman as well. 48 favor means immediate spirit of the horizon. Maybe not getting graded to the 50 straight away is not a bad idea, but see the Migdol stronghold over here getting taken down. The villagers coming through to take out the siege tower as well. The chariot archers coming over here to try and snipe down those villagers is very, very important. Meanwhile, we see raids coming in onto the trade route here as Joe is taking this this shifting sands curse as a bit of a blessing in order to pick off some of the economy of Hagrit, but like it's still very, very close economically as the mercenary cavalry come in to try and take down these chariot archers, but not going to be fast enough here as the chariot archers doing everything they can in this game as the spearmen pick off a villager or two. And the question right now is, does Hagrid have himself, well, he's got Mudbrick. So Mudbrick and fortified town centers is enough to prevent his town center from getting taken out, as the chariot archers do find some gold mining villages. Stray gold mining villages, but Joe not paying attention. Maybe going to tornado the back town center. It'd be a bit of a mistake. Because, well, I mean, you might not realize it, but actually, maybe it's not. Maybe Mudbrick isn't enough. Fortified town centers by itself isn't enough to save the town center, but I would think that Mudbrick plus fortified town centers would be enough. But I imagine that Joe's got other ideas here, as Hagrid is slowly but surely going to be able to equalize as this game's going on. The spearman's still coming through, heavy spearman on the way, and I imagine the greatest of the 50 was built here. No, I don't see it being researched. Oh, there it is. Greatest of 50 is on the way, and that's going to be able to deal with those mercenary cavalry nicely. And we do indeed see that tornado getting dropped over here. Question is, will the town center drop or not? The big question. The big question comes in. Town center 1,900, 700, 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, 300, and dead. The more you know. Fortified town centers plus masons means town center lives. Fortified town means town center lives, but now we see the shifting sands coming onto this position. The locust that was held once upon a time does get dropped down immediately, able to keep the town center from going up, but there's still a handful of villagers here that can drop the Migdol stronghold over here. As looks like Joe only loses like 8 villages there or something, but Joe right now has got an Avenger in on this position. The chariot archers coming through as well. The units on the front can also start pushing in here as well. We see a watchtower getting dropped onto this position as Joe is going to attempt his best to try and hold here. What I wouldn't mind is a villager or two coming into the top corner to build some barracks as well as a bit of a safety bet. As the chariot archers taking down villages in the back, we do have this Avenger getting taken down. They still have the spearmen here as well, but it looks like Hagrid's going to be able to hold here for the time being. But is that going to be enough? As right now, Joe's got his eyes set on the front town center. We're going to start seeing more and more units coming through here, as potentially also catapult will be getting created as well here. As the towers do end up starting up on this position, but is it going to be enough is the big question here. As this town center does get denied, 2 towers potentially going to be up, but no sneaky villagers here from Joe. As the spearmen do spot all of these camel caravans on this position, and Joe says, "Hey, camel caravans! I like camel caravans. I like killing camel caravans." And he says, "I'm going to come in and take them out." Meanwhile, we're still not seeing any classic Joe town center pushing action coming in here, as all of these camel caravans are ending up falling somewhat fast in this game. So tower coming up through here as well. Chariot archers wandering in onto this position to say, no, please not me, as the villagers over here getting taken out. But I feel like the cavalry might fall underneath the tower, and Hagrid might be in a world of trouble here, as Joe is very sneaky. As he's picked off those cavalry, we do see an elephant coming in. Go to the corner. Go to the corner, build barracks. Be sneaky. Always be sneaky. That's the motto of war in general. As the siege tower wandering through here. We get taken down though. And Joe's forward movement kind of being put to stop. And we do see the sneaky. Yes, sneaky, sneaky. Where'd the villagers go? I don't know. Well, Hagrit has whiffed the sneaky. He knows it's coming. Where'd the villagers go? Well, I didn't kill them. They must be somewhere. Oh, they're in the corner. All right. Barracks up. Well, that could be a dead war elephant as well, for sure here, as the villagers are going to be throwing up this town center. These villagers over here getting taken down. The cavalry are going to come in and start slicing and dicing the elephant, getting its big tusks out to get some good damage done. As the spearmen in on this position, spear on the horizon coming through. That's going to make these spearmen effectively champion spearmen plus a little bit, I believe. Champion chariots also coming through as well. And then you can also get champion spearmen to boot. As the units pushing in onto this Migdol. Still no siege in for Joe, which is a bit surprising. As we are starting to see him push through the side of the map. Take down these walls, take down the siege works. I like the tower that he's thrown up here. That's just something that I might need to adopt, is if you're going for like a push with just one siege tower through, you get one tower in order to pick off any stray villagers that are there to defend. So now Joe's going to start getting himself some upgrades. Villager difference still pretty equal here. 26 camel caravans, 18 camel caravans, 75 villagers, 63 villagers. Still fairly equal, but the champion chariots here versus the unupgraded chariots is a big advantage for Joe. He's going to start throwing down towers here. The spearmen getting built out on this position can take down these units very quickly. I mean, he should probably kill off the cavalry first, but he's not going to be microing this one at any time here, I don't think. There's the chariots getting fairly minced fairly quickly, as Joe is microing this somewhat well, trying to go after those chariot archers first instead of trying to deal with the cavalry. But you do have to... Well, you can kind of just shift click it. So if you just grab your chariot archers, make sure nothing else is attacking him, you can just shift click through these bad boys. As long as a different unit doesn't kill off one of them, then you won't get anything weird going on. As more siege works coming up, we see like abundance of siege works here, as now the catapults are rolling in and things start getting very difficult for Hagrit, as he doesn't have an answer to spearmen defending his catapult, because they're going to kill off these cavalry nearly instantly. Because I mean, if you like, greatest of the 50 gives a 200% bonus against cavalry, 100% bonus versus cavalry. So they're doing nearly 20 damage per second against those cavalry, which is a huge amount. And the cavalry have what, like 100 HP, 165 HP. So they die in eight shots. Basically a little bit more than 8 shots. As the Migdol does get taken down, siege works over here getting taken down as well. Meanwhile, this lone spearman is against the world, seeing if he can take everything down by himself. Towers coming down in true Joe fashion. He's going to slow push this, as the town center is now under threat. Mercenary cavalry getting built out here, but the spearmen are in, so they can deal with those nice and easily. Some walls in front of these catapults wouldn't go astray, but right now the chariot archers blocking this beautifully, as the cavalry are going to be falling. These chariot archers in the back going to get taken down fairly quickly here by Joe, as well as the towers slowly coming up for Joe. Mercenary cavalry going to be coming through en masse, but Joe does go for the path block here. Does a nice job of it, as well as the mercenary cavalry definitely do manage to get onto these catapult, but are very much delayed and slow, as the town center getting killed. We just see one catapult going down here as more towers up on the front. They are guard towers here, and even though Hagrit's managed to pick off those catapult, he's in a world of trouble if this does end up getting taken down. Right now, 0 gold in the bank for Hagrit, as he spent it all. His camel caravan a little bit slow to drop off that gold here, as the town center is potentially going to be getting taken out here, as Hagrit's not paying attention, not repairing the town center up, and it's going to get taken. One more catapult throw and it will go down. And Hagrit is not going to be happy about that one bit here. There was no reason really for him to lose that town center beyond losing all of his gold there. Joe takes it down and Hagrit says, I don't want to bother anymore with this. The fact that there's catapults here and there's these spearmen here, the tech advantage is too big and Hagrit has to tap out. What a crazy game here. Both players starting off kind of wonky, but then getting into the thick of it with Joe getting a significant advantage in the early kind of stages of the heroic age. They're hitting the mythic age first. Does get the town center down with his tornado and shifting sands onto it, but does get greeted by a pretty brutal locust. No siege towers here to really garrison, which would have been a really big brain play if he sent 4 siege towers in. Locust comes down, garrison into the siege towers. Could have worked. Hindsight's 2020. But an incredibly well-played game nonetheless here by Joe. Up 3-2 wins in this best of 7 series. It's first to 4, obviously best of 7. That's what it means. But one more win for Joe and he takes the series, but he's out of Egyptians now. You cannot play the same god you have won with in a series. He's played Ra, he's played Isis, he's played Set. What's going to be that 4th win that he's going to get? If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.